Hi everyone, it's Kate, back for story time. Tonight we're going to read one of my very oldest books. It's called Emmett's Pig by Mary Stolz. Chapter 1. Emmett lived in the apartment in a city. The apartment was in a building, and the building was near the park. In the park, there was a zoo. Animals lived there. There were lions and tigers and monkeys and camels, seals, bears, and elephants. There were also birds and fish and turtles, but no pigs. Emmett liked pigs. He liked them better than birds and fish. He liked them better than lions and tigers and monkeys and camels, seals, bears, or elephants, or turtles. "Why are there no pigs in the zoo?" said Emmett. "Well, they live on farms," said his mother. Emmett said, "Farms are in the country." "Yes," said his father. "Where in the country?" asked Emmett. "The country is outside the city." "Is it far?" asked Emmett. "Pretty far," said his mother. "Oh," said Emmett. Then he said, "Can we go to the country someday? Can we go to the country and see a pig?" "Someday," said his father. Some animals lived in the apartment building. Cats and dogs lived there. Birds and fish lived there, and turtles, but no pigs. "Mother, I have a pig in my room," said Emmett. "You have more than one pig in your room," said his mother. "You have all your toy pigs." Emmett did have pigs in his room. He had bank pigs and paper pigs and wooden pigs and glass pigs. He had a pink stuffed pig with big yellow button eyes. He had pictures of pigs. He had books about pigs. Sometimes he had pigs in his dreams, but he had never seen a real live pig. "Mother," said Emmett, "may I have a real pig in my room?" "No," said his mother. "I am so sorry." "Why not?" asked Emmett. "Because pigs live on farms where there is lots of space and grass and dirt." "I could have dirt in my room," said Emmett. "My pig would think it was a farm." "But you cannot have dirt in your room," said his mother. "Oh," said Emmett. "Can we go and live on a farm so that I can own a pig?" His father shook his head. "My job is in the city, Emmett. I am not a farmer." Emmett went into his room to think. He looked at all his pigs. He liked them very much, but he wanted a real live pig more than ever. He thought and thought and thought about it. He could not bring a pig to live with him in the city. He could not go to the country where he could own a pig. He did not know what to do. Emmett said to his mother and father, "I am going to be a farmer when I grow up. I am going to own lots of pigs. When the sun goes down, I will sit on a stump and admire all my pigs. My special pig will be named King Emmett. King Emmett will not be with the other pigs. King Emmett will sit by me. He will walk around the farm with me." "That will be fine," said his mother. "We will come to visit you on weekends." Emmett was pleased. He went in his room to look at his calendar. He wanted to see how many days were left in this year. There were a great many, and there were a great many years left before he could be a farmer. But Emmett did not think about pigs all the time. He had to think about school. He had to think about playing and about books. He had to think about spaceships and firemen and about his friends. He had to wonder what makes an elevator go, and he had to wonder how many glasses of water to ask for when he went to bed. He had to go to school, to the dentist, to the house where his friend lived, to the grocery store around the corner, or just for a walk. For a boy without a pig, Emmett was very busy. Chapter 2. One morning, Emmett sat up in bed. It was the 31st day of May. It was Emmett's birthday. Emmett got up and looked at his pigs to see that they were all right. They were all right. He looked out of the window to see if it was fine. It was fine. He went down the hall to see if his mother and father were awake. They were awake, and so his birthday began. There were pancakes. They were what Emmett liked for his birthday breakfast. There were present-shaped packages. He ate the pancakes, then he opened the packages. He got presents from his two grandmothers. He got presents from his two grandfathers. He got a truck and a ball and a puzzle. He got a book to paint in. He got a book to read. He liked all his presents very much, but he did not see any present from his mother and father. "Emmett," said his father, when the presents were all opened, "we are going to take you for a ride in the car." "Yes," said his mother. "We can call it a birthday ride. There is a present for you at the end." "From you?" said Emmett. "Yes," said his mother and father. "Can we go for a ride now?" said Emmett. "Right now," they said. First they drove in the city. "Is my present very far away?" asked Emmett. "Pretty far away," said his mother. They drove through a tunnel. "Is it in another city?" Emmett asked. "No," said his father. "It is not." They drove on a big highway. "Is my present in the country?" said Emmett. "Yes," and said his father and mother. Emmett thought and thought. "Is my present very small?" he asked. "It's pretty small," said his father. "Will it get bigger?" "Yes," said his mother. "It will get bigger." After a long time, they turned off the highway onto a 2-lane road. Then they turned off the 2-lane road onto a dirt road. They turned off the dirt road onto a driveway. They stopped in front of a farmhouse. A man and a woman stood, waiting and waving. "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Carson. This is our son Emmett," said his father. "How do you do?" said Mr. and Mrs. Carson to Emmett. "How do you do?" said Emmett. He looked around the farm. He saw a garden and a stable and a silo. He looked past the silo, and there was a beautiful pig pen. It was white and clean. "Shall we walk over there?" said Mr. Carson. "Oh, yes," said Emmett, and he ran. In one part of the pig pen there was a big mother pig and some little pigs. One of the little pigs looked at Emmett. One pig had nice little hoofs, little pointed ears, and big, round, happy eyes. He was round and shiny. He stood on his little hoofs, his small tail curled in the air, and he looked right up at Emmett. Emmett stood very still for a long time. "It is a real live pig," he said. "A real live pig," said his father. "Is he really mine?" said Emmett. "He's really yours," said his mother. "He is your birthday present. He will live here on the farm, but he will always be your pig." "Well," Emmett said, "thank you. He is just what I wanted." "We know," said his mother and father. "My pig is named King Emmett." "Oh," said his father. "You are naming your pig after yourself?" "Yes," said Emmett. "Only he will be King Emmett, so as not to mix us up." "I see," said his father. "It is the first time we've ever had a king living on our farm," said Mr. Carson. "It is the first time we ever had a pig boarding with us," said Mrs. Carson. Emmett smiled. He said, "I will send him a nickel from my allowance for a treat." "Fine," said Mr. Carson. "I'm sure he'll enjoy that, and I will send you a report card about him," said Mrs. Carson. "He will be good," said Emmett. "Shall I take him out?" said Mr. Carson. "So you can play with him?" "Oh, yes, please," said Emmett. So Mr. Carson lifted King Emmett out of his pen. King Emmett squealed. He jumped to the grass and ran. Emmett ran with him. They ran all over the grass. They ran past the silo and the stable. They ran past the garden and the house. Then they ran back again. When they stopped running, King Emmett came over and he sat down beside Emmett. All afternoon, Emmett and his pig played together. Now the sun was going down. Mr. Carson put King Emmett back with the other little pigs. All the pigs began to eat. Emmett sat on a stump to admire them. Most of all, he admired King Emmett. King Emmett was the handsomest, biggest, pinkest pig of them all. King Emmett looked at Emmett. "He knows you," said Mr. Carson. "Yes," said Emmett, "he does." Then Emmett and his mother and father said goodbye to the Carsons and got in their car. They drove back to the city. It was late when they got home. Emmett went right to bed. He only asked for one glass of water. Then he went to sleep very fast so he could dream of King Emmett. The next day, Emmett told the teacher and all the children in school that he owned a pig. He also told the elevator man, the grocery man, the dentist, and a man he did not know. They all thought it was fine. Even the man he did not know said it was a fine thing to own a real live pig of your own. Emmett was very proud. He was also very busy. Every week he got a letter from Mr. Carson. Every week he wrote back and sent a message to King Emmett. Once in a while he sent a nickel from his allowance so that King Emmett could have a treat. He had a lot of other things to think about and to do, but mostly he thought about the day when he and his mother and father would all drive back to the country to visit his pig. And every night he had a dream. In this dream there was a pig and a boy. They were both named Emmett, and they were very, very good friends. The end. Bye, everybody.